Session will not take much time. Session will not take much time. It's a short session. So we'll go through LangChain basics. But this require a few API keys. For that, you need to subscribe to platform.openai.com. So you need to log into this. And once you log into platform.openai.com, so you need to click on this project. By default, it's going to be only one project, default project. You need to click on create project, give a project name. But in my case, this is the one. And scroll down. Dashboard. And then you need to click on API keys, create a new secret key. So you can give any name you want and this. And click on create secret key. That's all. So I have provided a key here. In fact, I have changed it because I don't want to share this API key. And another key that you need to create is SERP API. So for agent tools, I'll explain what an agent tool is. So you need to go search for SERP API and then you click on this, sign up to this account, register. But in my case, I already registered the Google account, sign with Google. And here you'll have this API key, right? So you need to copy this. And there is a place where you have to copy the SERP API. In SERP API, right? That is the key that you have. This is the way you have to copy it. So apart from it, one second. So what we are going to discuss here is we're going to discuss LangChain framework, basics of LangChain framework, wherein we will see how to give a prompt and get response. But in this case, we are not using our own model. We are using OpenAI model, which is more powerful and which is something not possible to place in our machine. And in fact, it's not open source anymore. OpenAI, even though they started with the intention to provide free open source models, later on it's been taken over by Microsoft. In fact, started funding by Microsoft. Predominantly, terms being dictated by Microsoft itself. From then, they changed their policies. They stopped providing the open source models. So it's paid subscription. So of course, free subscription is there, but it's very limited. We can't access the APIs. To get API access, you have to have subscription to it. Okay. Let me get back to this one. So here we need to copy this API key, and you can keep the remaining data as it is. And this will list out what are all the models that this account supports. So whatever the subscription that I made, this is the model that I got. And this is the new latest model, Open 4.0. So what we need to do is we need to let me explain what all the categories we have here. One, using LangChain framework, we can give prompt and get response. We're going to use OpenAI model. And thereafter, we're going to provide prompt templates. Prompt template is, let's take that you have written a prompt. For example, I want Chinese restaurant names. Another one, I want Indian restaurant names. I want Italian restaurant names, something like that. So we are adding unnecessary duplicates, isn't it? So instead, we can write something like cuisine. Let's take Chinese. I want cuisine restaurant names. So instead of rewriting the sentence again and again, if I want Indian restaurants, I can write it like this. Or let's do American, I can get that like this. So prompt level templates So will help us in getting rid of the repetitive writing of prompts. That 1 second, the power is down here. If it all go disconnected, I'll turn it back again. So once the power is back. One second. I need host access to share my screen.
I'm sorry to disturb. If you are speaking, I can't hear.
Oh, is it? Sorry, I'm in mute. Okay, the other, maybe have seen prompt templates, right? Prompt template is whenever there is a repetition, we use this prompt templates. So in this is a good example for prompt templates. wherein I have rewritten like this. So I use a variable and I start feeding it to this one. So this is what we call it as prompt template. The other feature for chaining is, the other feature in LangChain is chaining. The very name, in fact, the LangChain comes from this concept, wherein we give some input to it, right? Usually we give some input, that is prompt, and it's going to predict and it's going to give response. That will be the output for this. And the same response can be taken as input for another one, and we can get another response. So we can chain it. So just like the way we use it in pandas we have used, right, something like column one, string, lawyer, and then string, something like that, isn't it? We use extract. So this is an input for this one. This will yield out our output, and this output will become an input for this one, and so on, so forth. We can keep on chaining it, isn't it? The same concept applies here, LangChain. The chaining concept we call it as. The other one is we can even sequentialize chainings. Suppose it's not just one chain, we can apply multiple chains. We can chain it, I mean to say, the sequential, there's something called sequential chaining. Another one is agents. The reason why we need agents is going to be a bit odd compared to the other concepts. The concept behind agents is, suppose the LLM models, if you take ChatGPT itself, so let's take when this order data. No. So it's saying that August 2023. So it means that it cannot give any information thereafter. Suppose if there is an AI model that is new, that has been released after August 2023, this will not have any updates. So so for that we need agents. Agents will is like, you know, a kind of browser. We can't say it's even a browser. We can say that it is an API wherein it will fetch us information from various sources. Various sources, and are these up to date? Suppose if I have a Wikipedia web page related to something new, then I can have it. So there will be a lot of agents, but I've given a few examples here. Some are even paid. So I'm going to use a free one here. For that, we need SERP API, and even SERP API, you should not execute as much as you want. There will be some limitations to it. So we already saw that, right? So SERP API. So this is something that we are going to use it for Google search. So this for Google search is one of the most predominantly used agent, right? So those who have joined just now, so I request you to watch the recording so that you will understand how to generate SERP API. And let me go back to the tool. I hope you got an overview of what LangChain does. So I have given OpenAI key here. Just you need to provide only once, and after that, another place where we need to copy the SERP API in agent location. Yeah, this is where the SERP API need to be copied. Only those two changes you need to make. And apart from it, there is another concept that I missed, that is memory. Memory is usually the LangChain by nature, by default, will not remember what we have asked earlier. That is historical data, it's not going to have any trace. Suppose if we ask any questions that will relate to historical, something that you already asked, then LangChain will not help you to do that. We need to have, we have a concept called memory, wherein with that we can even ask questions that we already asked before. Let me start with the, you can see that this is the model that it supports, the OpenAI key right now. And this is the latest one. And here I have given a prompt. There are two ways to do write a prompt. You can see that one, of course, we need to use this one, OpenAI, which comes from LangChain, and we need to provide the model name, whatever the model name that it supports. In your case, if it changes, you have to provide the name, and the temperature equal to 0.9. So temperature is nothing but, for example, I think we already discussed about temperature. Suppose in Markov chain principle, for let's take then I got a list of words, right? Is like or whatever the words. Suppose just consider that the whole proportion is going to probability is going to be 1. So if I say 0.9, it means that I'm going to take randomly 90% of the data, that is 0.9 probability data. That's 90% of this list of data, and I'm going to pick the best one. Usually, the most frequent one comes first. Let's take it has occurred 24 times. Then this will be the first one. But if you give temperature for the 0, then it's going to work in this way. So the most frequent one will be taken. Whereas if you give 0.9, it means that it's going to take it is going to randomly take 90% of the words, and in that whatever the best, it's going to pick that. So I have given the temperature 0.9. You can give it's going to add more creativity. Otherwise, it's going to be quite repetitive, and it's going to give only that particular word, right? So there are two ways to. So once you create LLM, of course, the same LLM I have created here too. There is no difference, but difference is LLM and here LLM predict. You can see the way we use. Either you can use LLM.predict or simply LLM. In fact, there is no difference in when it comes to response. It's going to be the same. Either you can directly use LLM or LLM.predict. Usually we go with this approach. And I have given, I want to open a restaurant for Indian food, suggest a fancy name for this. It has suggested few names. This is the
Sir,
result.
how do I
Yeah,
know that one model names GPT-4o mini?
yeah, here is the list, the models that it supports. So dynamically, after you provide the API key, this code will list out all the models that it supports. If it right now, the OpenAI key has exposed only one model, the test model to do API keys. If at all it supports more models or if it got changed, you need to provide the same model name here.
Okay.
And here, yeah, the same concept, LLM.predict. That's the only difference. And now the prompt templates. As I told you that if there is a repetition, then you can use in prompt templates rather than feeding the data directly like this. So this is a plain way of providing prompts, right? Suppose if I want to write another prompt, I want to open a restaurant for Chinese food, then I need to rewrite the same thing again and again. Rather, please mute yourself. If you have questions, you can unmute yourself. So here I have given quizzing as an input variable, and this is going to be the variable. This is not the actual variable. This is going to be the variable, and input variable is the parameter. So you can feed this, parameter, and in prompt template format, you can keep changing this. So you can use Italian or Indian or whatever, right? So here I have already executed this one because I don't want to expose this API key. So and the problem is that if I execute now, this API key will not work because, and then it will expose the API key. So this is a pre-executed, stuff. So in your case, you need to, the code will work, definitely work. Yesterday itself, I tried it. And you need to change this API key and you will definitely get that one. It will cost you around 20 to 30 or $40. SAP API is free, but there are limitations to it. Don't try to exploit it. I mean to say, don't overuse it. And here I have given quiz in Italian. That's all. That's the only change that I have made. And I got the Italian restaurant. You can see it's not English names, right? Cucino di Luso, something like that. And if I change Mexican, it's going to give a list of other names. I have not wrapped it in print. That's the reason I got this slash and slash. But it's El Jardín di Sazón, Casa di Fuego, right? Saboria Cultura. So something like that. So Mexican, I haven't changed anything else apart from it. Chain.run is the way that we can execute the model, prediction. So when it comes to chain, the previous case wherein we have used only LLM, isn't it? We created object and we used it. Now we have imported LLM chain, wherein we can run this with this, whatever the prompt template that we have framed earlier. It requires two things, LLM and prompt template. It requires, we can add even more, that is verbose true. The difference between, in fact, these two are in fact the same. You can see the restaurant names is the same thing. Of course, whenever you re-execute it again, the names will change, but it's the same kind of output. But the difference here is that verbose true. Verbose true is for development, don't use it for production. Verbose true, when we make, by default, it's going to be false. So you have to mention that if you want to make it false. So if you want to make it true, this is the way that you have to mention. The advantage of using that, especially in development, is it will help us in understanding what happens under the hood. Ignore these warnings. That is something comes from OpenAI, because when server is busy, it's going to give us retraining kind of. Ignore this stuff. But what this verbose true does is, it is going to tell us what is the exact prompt that it is asking for. I want to open a restaurant for Mexican food, even though I have mentioned it as a prompt template, as part of prompt template. Now you can see that this is the prompt that has been set, and the finish chain has this response. Usually entering new LM chain, a prompt after formatting. This is the actual prompt. Ignore these warnings. This comes from OpenAI, and the final product is going to come under finish chain. So this is the final output. Usually, when we don't give this verbose, you will directly get the output. And don't, as I told you before, don't use this one. They will come to know what exactly the prompt that you have used in production. So only for development. And here, what we did here is, we can chain, the power of chain is that we can take one output as an input to the next one, isn't it? Here, what we did is, same thing as before, we created a prompt template, wherein we're asking for cuisine, and we created the LM chain, and then we are providing the variable while running the chain itself, and it's going to give us the restaurant name. And this restaurant name we're trying to feed to the another template, wherein this is going, let's take that it has suggested a restaurant name, and it's going to take, let's take that it has generated 10 names. It's going to take one of the names, or you can even manually customize it. For example, restaurant name 0, whatever. We can even do that. But in this case, it's going to randomly pick one, and it's going to suggest a few menu items for the restaurant name. You can see that it has suggested restaurant names, and thereafter it has suggested the menu, the whole menu for that particular one. Okay, so we can chain it and keep on.
It will randomly pick the restaurant name and it will suggest the menus, right?
So here it has given more than one. So obviously it has to pick one of it. Or else it's your choice to look at the restaurant names, and then choose one of it, like whatever that you wish.
Based on the index. Yeah.
Yeah, it's based on the index. That will be best way. Of course, usually we choose the restaurant on our own. So in that case, you don't require the random chain, but this is a one typical example for chaining this. All right, so the next one is, we can even provide the whole list of chains in a more, formatted way. 1 second. We have something called simple sequential chain, wherein I can provide the list of chains. So this, whatever the output is going to be, input for the next one is going to be taken automatically. In this case, I have given Indian, and it has given the output like this. So which is, even though we can achieve the same thing out of from this, but this is more clean, isn't it? Of course, we need to provide, we need to have prompt templates, and then we need to build chains, and thereafter we can sequence. So this will clearly gives us a proper sequence. Even this is going to improve the readability. So this is a right way to provide the chains in sequential. Right, this is another example with temperature 0.7. Have two templates, and I built two chains, I think. Yeah, name chain and food items chain. And this is, so you can see that input variables in the first input variables cuisine. The output variables is going to be restaurant menu items. At the end, I'm going to get restaurants and menu items. We can even enable verbose true to understand what exactly it has done. And agents is very powerful, as I told you before, that the data that any model will have certain limit. It would have been trained somewhere in the past. So let's take OpenAI model itself. It has been trained August 2023, right? August 2023. So it will keep on, they're going to keep on updating, but when you search in Google, you're going to get latest information, like what are the latest political trends in Mexico. You can even choose based on date. For example, Mexico political news. I'm going to get current information, right? Something that is not possible with ChatGPT, something that we can achieve with agents, with the help of agents. SERP API is one of the most popular Google search results. I mean to say, it's going to search the Google search results and it's going to fetch the Google search results and give us. So you can give almost any kind of topic in that sense. But the paid account, there is a difference between paid account and free account. So don't overuse this SERP API. So they may even, bar the account. If you really want, they can go with paid subscription. So paid subscription is always available. I think paid subscription is there. Billing information, yeah, change plan. This is where you can change it. You can see that a good number of plans. All right, so free account, don't overuse it. As I'm telling you again, suppose if you want to execute again and if you want to see before interviews, then you may not have access to this one. So careful with that. And temperature 0 is always greedy, as I told you before. Temperature is like it's going to give us the most frequent or whatever the logic that they have built on. So it's going to be greedy algorithm. And usually we go with 0.9. That will be the best option. So don't go with 0. Better go with 0.9. In this case, it is required to go with 0 because it's it's a Google search results, right? We want the top one. But that's the reason they have given 0 here. So Google search results, it makes sense. And now you can see that we need to provide the agent type here, zero-shot reactive description, zero-shot in the sense without training. So it's going to give us the results. So what is the question? What was the GDP of US in 2024? Yesterday we executed it, and this is what we got. And ignore these warnings. And what is our final output is 20,635 trillion US dollars. That is the final answer. So in 2024 yesterday. So which is almost impossible, right? So let me take the same thing and use it in ChatGPT. Let's see what kind of output we get. As of quarter 24, US GDP was 28.63 trillion dollars, growing at an annual rate of 2.8%. So if you, I don't know whether you observed this or not, it is searching for Google results or something, isn't it?
Yeah, directly it was searching.
It didn't directly comes from that one. I mean to say from OpenAI model. This is not. So now it is giving more straightforward answers. So maybe it has historical data. It's been stored in vector database. Vector database we'll discuss as part of project in the next week. And so I think you got the message here. So right, 3 sites. I think it is. You can see that Bing.com, ba.com. This is where it has searched and got the information. So now earlier it was not even giving that information. Now they embedded agents. So it's because of this agents. So what we did here is use SERP API and LLM math. Basically, LLM math is for mathematical operations. So if you want to add addition or subtraction, whatever, so it is going to require that. So, And this is the question, and that is the rest. Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, my question is that if there is no historical data in that one, it will go and search in the web itself if we are using the agents, right?
Yeah, because we are using SERP API clearly. So here that's the reason we are getting it. Suppose if we need some more Wikipedia, I have another example for Wikipedia. Let me show you. In Wikipedia, I have another agent. Some are paid and some are free, and some are free, but it's limited. So you need to have subscription for more, right? But it's quite easy. It's not difficult at all. So load tools is something that you have to use. So just like we have load tools comes from LangChain agents, and you have to load the tools. Of course, you need to have appropriate key if at all it requires. And they will how to use this one. What with the exact key and all documentation will help you to understand it. It's not really difficult. If you even go to SERP API, what's happening? You can see the documentation. Some way they will help you to understand how to use this one. There's a lot to read, but okay, you can see that here. This is more related to, I mean to say, Ruby. This is Ruby. This is JSON. There is no Pythonic way. Python's API open API key call. Let's see Python education. You can see that here. So again, it's not telling me how to use API key and all. But this is, I think somewhere I got this. Yeah, here you can see that, right? SERP, or maybe, yeah, this is the, yeah, this is the one. So I use os.enron because that is the way that we can store the environment variables. So we have to use os.env. So follow this same thing if at all you want to use SERP API. But Wikipedia does not require any API keys. Straight away use that one. I don't know, like if we go overuse it, like it may require something, but right now it doesn't require anything. When I try,
So in the result, will it take the three? I mean, best of three, or like from whole three, it will generate the result.
so there is no way that OpenAI will give us the information. So what happened here is, so right now the embedded agents. So this information, whatever we got, it might have come from, I think it exactly matches with the OpenAI, right? 28,063 something, isn't it? Yeah, it exactly matches with this information. So it means that it would have come directly from OpenAI. It would have not even used SERP API. But if at all, a particular model, even it's not just OpenAI, we can even use Hugging Face. We'll see that in project again. We'll see another project on that. We can even use Hugging Face models. Suppose if it's not up to date, then we can use this, agent tools.
Okay.
Here I have used Wikipedia, and the question is, what was Elon Musk? When was Elon Musk born, and what is his age right? Right now, I should have given 2024. 20. So this is the response it got. Elon Musk was born on. It's going to search in Wikipedia, and he's 28 years old. If at all, it's not been there in OpenAI model. And the memory is very important. By default, when you use LangChain, if you check for memory, it's not going to have any memory. The reason why we need memory, I'll explain it here. Just consider that we have executed it, we've got a list of it, and we have added Arabic cuisine here, and we got another list. And if you check the memory chain.memory.buffer, because we use this conversation buffer memory, it is going to give me the complete list, the previous two conversations. But even in such case, if we don't store it in database, then we have an issue. So we have an alternate for that one, conversation buffer window memory, wherein how many windows that has to remember. Suppose I have given, in fact, we should not give one, but I have given one here to make you understand how exactly it works. You can see k equal 1 means it's going to remember only the past conversation, past latest conversation, right? But in this, if you look at this one, who won the first Cricket World Cup? It has given the response. And how much is 5.5? It's 10. But if I ask another question, who was the captain of the winning team? But I'm asking question related to this one. So you're saying that World Cup 1975, whoever has won, I'm asking the captain of that particular winning team. It is saying that I need a bit more context to give the output. Because I have given one here. If I give two, then it's going to remember this one and this one too. But if I give one, it's going to remember only this one. So based on that, it can't give an output.
2 is the number of prompts it should remember. Is it like that?
Exactly. So 2 is the number of responses that it can remember. To question and prompt and answer. Prompt and response. This
So
is the
what
prompt.
value we should use?
Depends on how much you can, how much memory you have. Suppose if you don't store it in database, then this is how much memory you have. This is better to store in vector database. We'll see an example on that. That will improve the
Okay.
even more context. That will be even more better way to do that. But for short term kind of, let's say session related kind of, we are not going to store everything in database. In that case, it's going to be useful. Yeah, that's it on language basics. So we have, I mean, it's not just this one. So there are a few more topics that we need to use along with Hugging Face. So you will understand it better. So OpenAI, we can't use it all the time. It's better to use open source models so that in real time, that's exactly how you're going to implement, right? And we're going to embed with vector database so that you will understand the complete workflow. All right, that's it for today. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right, so as I told you before, it is going to cost you a bit. OpenAI key is not free. You have to have OpenAI key even to use SERP API, but because that is going to be the base, and it's going to cost you at least $30 to $40.
So
$20
this
for
key
ChatGPT.
we can use, right, for the practice and all, which you have
No,
provided in the
no, I have not. This is my key, and I have, in fact, I have added a few randomness here. And in fact, I removed it. So you can't use
So
this. You
free
can't
keys
use
also
this.
are provided there.
No, free keys are not available. So you have to pay for it. That's the reason I
Ah,
told you. So OpenAI, right, it used to give free OpenAI keys for at least some 30 or 40 interactions, but now they stopped giving it. So it's completely paid. You need to use
ah.
ChatGPT and then you need to get into platform.api, platform.openai.com, and then you need to top up. So ChatGPT costs you around $20. Platform.openai, it costs you around at least $10 to top up. ChatGPT, if you go to ChatGPT, if you click on this, you will get an option upgrade. And in platform.openai.com, click on dashboard and here API keys. Patches, assistant dashboard, storage. Somewhere I have seen that. Yeah, billing. You need to click on settings, billing. Here we can top up, add to credit balance. That is the one that you have to do. Okay. Try
So
to
here, where will be the key? I mean, I joined like 5 minutes later, so I didn't get that.
what's the recording? So that's
Ah,
good.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Any other questions? All right. That's it for today. We'll meet on Monday. Thanks for joining.
Thank Please share